On a quiet night in 1983, while the world slept peacefully, one man sat in a Soviet bunker, staring at a flashing red screen. The message was clear. Nuclear missiles had been launched by the United States. He had minutes to respond. Minutes to decide if the Soviet Union should fire back. Minutes that could unleash World War III. But here's the twist. Instead of following orders, he did nothing. And that single choice may have saved every life on this planet, including yours. Stanislav Petrov, a 44-year-old Soviet officer, stared at the glowing red screen in front of him. The system showed something terrifying. 5 U.S. nuclear missiles have been launched, heading directly toward the Soviet Union. The rules were clear. If the system detected an attack, Petrov had one job: report it immediately. Within minutes, the Soviet High Command would launch a counterstrike. Thousands of nuclear warheads would roar into the skies. Cities would burn. Millions, maybe hundreds of millions would die. But Petrov hesitated. His finger hovered over the phone. His heart pounded. This was the height of the Cold War. Just 3 weeks after the Soviet Union shot down a Korean passenger jet. Tensions were razor sharp. One wrong move, and it was the end. The screen flashed again. Launch detected. The sirens wailed louder. The entire bunker filled with panic. Officers looked to Petrov, their commander, for the decision. Should they retaliate? And here's the twist. Petrov did nothing. He didn't pick up the phone. He didn't sound the alarm. He didn't follow the rule book. Why? He trusted his instincts. 5 missiles didn't make sense. If the U.S. launched a real strike, it would be hundreds, not just 5. Something felt wrong. Minutes crawled by. The missiles on the screen moved closer. Sweat rolled down Petrov's face. If he was wrong, he was condemning his country. But if he was right, he was about to save the world. And then, silence. The radar showed nothing. No missiles. No explosions. The screen went blank. It had been a false alarm. Later, investigators discovered that sunlight reflecting off high-altitude clouds had fooled the Soviet satellites. Technology had almost triggered Armageddon. But thanks to one man's refusal to act blindly, nuclear war was avoided. Stanislav Petrov's decision, or rather, his inaction, saved billions of lives. And yet, when he returned home that morning, exhausted and shaken, there were no parades, no medals, no celebrations. He couldn't even tell his wife what had happened. The event was classified for decades. Petrov lived much of his life in quiet obscurity. He once said, "I was just doing my job. I'm not a hero. I just didn't want to start World War III." Today, many historians believe that humanity survived the Cold War because one man trusted his gut more than a machine. So the next time you look at the peaceful sky above, remember, it remained blue, not burning, because on one night in 1983, a man named Stanislav Petrov chose to do nothing. And in doing nothing, he saved the world.